Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Netflix's new film, The Unforgivable. And this is based off of The Unforgiven, which is a British series, and focuses on a woman who gets out of prison after 20 years, after killing a police sheriff, and all she wants to do is find her young sister, who she used to take care for before this all happened. And Sandra Bullock plays this woman, Ruth, who is hardened from her time in prison and comes out. And this is a very interesting performance from Bullock because it's a lot harder kind of character than she plays in a lot of things. There's a lot less overt emotion. She does have her moments, but she's very stiff upper lip. And there's few times where she does actually really show her emotions. There's one particular scene that she has with Viola Davis that's probably going to be one of the most remembered scenes in this film that really shows some great emotion and range. The issue with this is there's just so many moving pieces here, and the three screenwriters that try to pull this all together, because this was a mini-series, and now this is condensed into 2 hours, and on some level you just feel like, what's the point of trying to dig into so many different characters? And because, let's paint a picture here. So, Ruth gets out of prison. She's working. She winds up getting a job at a fish place. She meets John Bernthal. They start hitting it off. But, what's going to happen when he finds out what she's, her past and stuff like that? John Bernthal plays this very earnest and likable character. And what's going to happen with that? But you have Ruth, who has her parole officer, and they have their interactions and stuff like that, which is pretty standard. And, they have some interesting back and forth where it's really trying to, hit on the themes of the film, And you have her who goes to her old home and meets this family there. Vincent D'Onofrio is a lawyer who winds up representing her, and his wife Viola Davis, who's not very trusting of this whole situation. And they try to contact the family who now are the adopted parents of the sister, played by Aisling Franciosi, who does a really fine job. She has an adopted sister, Emma Nelson's character, Emily, and they don't, we have Katie, who doesn't know that she's adopted, but she has these memories. And you have Richard Thomas and Linda Emond, who play the parents, who have their own perspectives and their own feelings trying to protect their family. And who am I missing? Oh yes, this whole entire other subplot, because the sheriff that she killed has two sons, and the one son, Tom Guiry's character Keith, really wants to kill Sandra Bullock and tries to rope in his brother Steve, played by Pullen, who seems to be having a shaky marriage, and he doesn't want to do anything at first, but then he gets turned to things because things that happen in his life, and this is just too much. Too many moving pieces, and really unfocused. And they set up, I think the most extraneous line here is this whole, the children of the sheriff, who really don't need to have all this screen time to set up all this nonsense. And then you feel like Viola Davis, in the grand scheme of things, really didn't need to be here. But, it's Viola Davis, and she gets a decent amount of screen time because she's Viola Davis. And there just seems to be so many things distracting from this main story and trying to pad out this film to be 2 hours, which didn't really need to be in the grand scheme of things if you really hone in on what the main part of the story is. And, some of the things really work. The acting is all really good. Everybody's doing a really fantastic job in this film. But the thing is, a lot of them feel like they're just there because the script told them to be there, instead of really feeling like they're necessary to the story. And some of them feel like they're shoehorned into places to make them more needed in the story. And where the film goes, there's some twists and turns that happen that are pretty unexpected. And do they feel a little contrived and a little bit outlandish and ridiculous, and at the moment kind of reframes things? Some of the decisions in the story to how they frame this whole crime that happened, this murder, and what really might have been going on here, I think completely shifts gears in the third act of the film and I don't know if it benefits the film for having such a turn like that, but there's also, like, the film's trying to do some twists and turns along the way, and they feel like they're like, you could see them 10 miles away, and you're just like, oh, was this supposed to be a surprise? There's one particular moment where it's just like building up this tension, it's like, oh my god, a reveal, and it's just like, no crap. They heavily-handed set this up, so I don't know why the film thinks that we should be surprised about this. And Nora Fingscheidt, who's the director here, I think builds enough tension, builds enough atmosphere here, but just has too bloated of a script to work with. And in the end, I just feel like this story gets like crushed under its own weight of trying to do too many things when it really should have just been really focusing on Sandra Bullock's character, Ruth, who gives a fantastic performance and is the anchor of this film. So in the end, I just feel like this film was trying to do too much with too many characters, and really didn't spend enough time. And, like, honestly, I felt like they could have spent more time with, like, Katie, the sister, which, in the grand scheme of things, they spend very little time with in this film. And if this could have been trimmed down more and more focused, probably would have been stronger. But in the end, it just feels like an overly bloated film that has too many characters that don't get enough to do or purpose for being there, or just thrown in there for active, like, oh my god, shock value. Because there's definitely moments that feel that way. But in the end, I feel like if you're really into, like, a good drama and you like Sandra Bullock, this is going to be on Netflix, so you could just stream it, and I don't think that's a big deal. But if you're really looking for some really impactful, focused, well-made drama here, I think this is a bit messy and might not be worth your 2 hours. But those are my thoughts on The Unforgivable. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.